Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Trader Minute. It's great to have you on board. And looking here at the market, and wasn't it like right on time? The market started to rally at a certain point of day, and it did. The market was down. It looked pretty bearish at one point. What, down 5, 6 points at one time. Now it's positive by 3. It's a pretty big turnaround, and there's a lot of buying going on in today's action. Let's run through our positions. Let's look at the charts here on Boeing. And Boeing, well off the lows, it was down there at that 141 level, just dancing around the 141 level, and held the level. That's what we wanted to hold as a support. We were watching that level. It held it, and it's rallying up on it. I want to zoom in on this a little bit here. See if I can't get that so where you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, and let's look at these lows of the day right here. Now notice what happens when it gets down here at around the 141. Look at that volume spike up. Okay, over through this level. You get the volumes a lot more firm. You know, it's kind of sporadic through these levels, and notice here it drops off a little bit, but look how heavy the volume are tick for tick on the minute here, the minute chart. And then as it goes up, what happens once again? Well, steady volume, and this time over here is where you see the buyers stepping in. They started stepping in over here, and now it's pushing it higher. There's very few sellers out there right now on Boeing. This push higher like this is very bullish action and going into the close like that. You know, it's punching up through a little bit of a shorter, very short term resistance there, about 140, 160, around that range. But no, this is very price action. We're going to hold our position in Boeing today. We've been discussing, Jeff and I and Josh been discussing what we're to do here. We had thoughts of taking Boeing off, but with this price action going to the close today, we're going to hold it. We think Boeing is set for a run higher come Monday. All right, let's go to our next position. Morgan Stanley. And Morgan Stanley went way off the lows. It's come up a little bit, and it just kind of ranged in this around this level, 3130 to 3140. Ranged in the level. Let's go look at this on a daily chart. Got Morgan Stanley, and at one point it was pretty ugly, right? Tough to sit through those, but one of the things we always do here is wait to the close to see how it's going to look at the close. You notice what's happened here. It's held that 31.5 mark for quite some time, and now it's rallying back up here to close up towards the 7. Okay. Same thing. We thought about pulling Morgan Stanley off today, but with this price action in the late afternoon here, we're going to hold Morgan Stanley for the weekend. We're going to look at these on Monday. We feel there could be a bounce in this market in these positions here come Monday. And then Qualcomm. Same action. If we go back over here, let's take a look at Qualcomm on the minute. Very bullish action going on here. Let me zoom in on this. Right through this level, the volume would just remain pretty light all day. But notice, here's where the volume kind of dries up in the day, right through this range, and it just kind of ranged during that time. It's that's always the time where the market drops off a little bit. But last little while here, notice how the volume starts to pick up. Okay, this is the buyers. This is the buy the dip crowd that we always kid around about. The buy the dip crowd stepping in. The volumes have increased right here. They're higher. There's a lot of volume minute per minute right now as it's going on. Very bullish price action. We're holding all 3 positions today, going higher. Again, with the late buy-in like this is what we wanted to see to hold positions. This is what we're getting. If we didn't see this, we would have been exiting and moving on till for another trade come Monday. All right, so we're going to hold all 3 going into the weekend. this late afternoon buying. And if you've been with us for a long time, this is why we hold to see if things are going to come back for us into the day, at the end of the day, or even wait till the last part of the day to make trades and sometimes exit trades. But with this bullish action we're seeing right now, it's very strong for the positions. Not just the positions, also for the market. Looking back here at the market, technically, what's it done? What's it done here the last 3 days? Okay, the dip and ends with a gain or even. The dip ends with a gain or slash even. And today another dip, and all three of those below the 7, and has come back to close above the 7 3 days in a row. If I was looking at it, if this was a stock, this is what I'd be looking for come Monday. This is very bullish price action. You get something like this closing over those highs right there, which is very possible come Monday. If this was a stock again, technically this is just off and running once again to new highs. So the very bullish signs for the market, and same with our positions. All right, sorry, I just had to get a cough here for a second. All right, let's look through some positions. Disney. Slawick brings this up, like in Disney. Okay, so, and hey, I'm a fan too. Let's go to Disney World. So with Disney, this is what I look for here. This is strong action. I see what you're seeing. 75. I'm not going to draw a line all over there, but all the way over. But 75. Notice how when it dips below 75, 1, 2, 3 days now, and pushing back above it today is a strong bullish signal. For me, a little bit more bullish confirmation would be a break above that 7. And we might miss something, but if we a break above the 7 would be, again, more confirmation. And there's a good chance come Monday that might happen, which would give us maybe a little bit of an entrance point right here. But I couldn't argue. It's a good bullish position. All right. Yes. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, we're going to be holding our positions today due to the strong buying we're seeing here into the close today. Um, yeah, Steve. Holy cow. I think this takes it from me. This takes it the biggest the biggest move I think I've ever seen on a stock in 2 days. Yesterday took it towards the top, but today, I mean, holy cow, up another 60% today after like a 300% gain yesterday. Amazing. 70 $70 stock to it hit 500 today, just about, in 2 days. I mean, if it's not optionable, but even, hey, if you held a stock, holy cow, you got what, a quadruple on a stock. That's just fun to see. Family Dollar. Yeah, this is the one yesterday that had bad earnings, and that's a very bullish candle. To me, it's not enough to run out and buy it. I mean, in hindsight, I could say, dude, you guys should have bought this yesterday, right? But today is very, very bullish price action. They missed on earnings. I don't have my notes in front of me from where it was, but I had a little bit on that yesterday. They missed on earnings. The other stocks rallied. I looked at Dollar General yesterday, and it was up pretty big, while this had sold off. But very bullish price action. As far as an entrance right here, I wouldn't touch it. It's just so volatile. This is becoming more of a fundamental move rather than a technical move with this extreme price action like this. It's probably going to keep going. It's got some heavy volumes, and it's been mainly buyers stepping in to buy this little bit of a dip here. But there's better technical setups out there. This is just Really nice to see. And we saw quite a few of those. Those of you who were with us during the last earnings season, man, we saw, I'd say, a half a dozen or more of stocks that came out with bad earnings and reversed, if not that day, to go positive or to go negative based on some good or bad earnings announcements. Las Vegas Sands. So Las Vegas Sands, nice. Look at that. This got downgraded. And what I was watching all day is that $80 level to see if it's going to hold, and the 7. But check out the other two. I mean, the other two that we talk about. MGM up, had a nice day. Really nice day. Wynn up, had a nice day. Why was Las Vegas Sounds down? Well, they got a little bit of a downgrade by not one of the bigger names out there. And to me, a downgrade on a stock or a stock in a sector that's doing phenomenal just didn't make sense. And whoever gave the downgrade, what was it? Let me throw out some names here. FBR Capital. I just didn't see the reason. I didn't see the reasoning. It's just too strong. The sector is just too strong. So this is phenomenal. Get downgraded, and it looks like it's gonna just sweep it under the rug, which is a strong bullish signal. You get this out of the way, and this thing can springboard. So yeah, I think it looks great. Yahoo. All right, so these have been in my top three here recently. I think that was Tuesday of this week. Since then, it just kind of gone sideways, right? Up slightly, just around the $41 mark. What this is doing is the seven's catching up with it. You notice the seven catching up. If the seven's your stop, well, now you have less at risk, right? Just watch for it. As that 7 gets up there, we got a bullish run intact here. As that 7 gets up there, what your odds are saying is likely to push higher. Okay, and that's what I'd be waiting for. I wouldn't exit here unless it closed below the 7. Let that original plan that you set play out. I've too many times over the years, I would get antsy and look at a stock. Oh, it's not really going for me. It's been 3-4 days now. Oh, should I just run? And then when I did run, eventually it would bounce back up and go my direction, or sometimes it would go the other way. But as long as the technicals are still intact, let the trades work for you and see if you can't get that next push higher. And this is one of those stocks. Let it work until it's broken, and that broken would be a move back below the 7, right? Yeah, this is a nice looking chart. This would be a trend rider. It's so far away from the 7. It's over $3 away from the 7. If I was in the trade, nice. You got a very nice return on this. The volumes are strong. They're really strong. It's likely to run higher, but as far as entering right in here, I just couldn't do it. Where do you set your stop? You could put today's open. That's still over $2.50 away. Option prices are really inflated right in here on this big day like that. The risk reward just wouldn't set up. But if you're in the trade, I couldn't argue taking some off at this point because there's a chance it's overbought. It's in a overbought position right now, and there's definitely a chance it's a little bit of a profit taking coming in here. But with the strong volumes, this can just keep on running too. Nice chart. Thanks, Trader Doc. GM. GM down 47 cents. Okay, so what's it been doing here? A little bit of divergence we're seeing, at least on the RSI up there. Here, but this is a pretty bearish move here for GM, but I wouldn't enter yet. I mean, yeah, it's a strong push below the 7, and you notice when it dropped below the 7, it initially dropped here, And then you got a strong drop. Well, it's coming back up. It keeps dropping back below the 7, but there's also an important level in my mind right there at 40. 40 holds, there's a chance it might try to run back up, but it's a weak looking trade. I mean, a weak looking stock. If I put this, well, yeah, anyways, descending triangle pattern there, but I'd give it till 40. It probably give you, you might be able to catch it next week, early next week if it does break below, but I just wouldn't. I'd have a hard time going bearish on it today at that level, right on that level, which could be some support for it there. Bank of America, yeah, it's some bullish consolidation. Now, Jeff talked a little bit about this, and for interest rates dropping and this stock coming back at the end of the day, Morgan Stanley's coming back too. Is very bullish. And so far, all we're seeing here, you see how it gets away from the 7. All we're seeing is some consolidation back towards the 7. And what you'd be looking for here is a push back up off 7 and run higher. If I'm in a trade here, let it go out. Let it work for you here. If your stop is on the 7, let it play. If your stop is on a close inside the band, well, it's closing inside today, but look at the candle here. Down and then run up here towards the close. It's a fairly bullish candle. And that's, yeah, you could look at that and say, hey, Carl, that's a dragonfly and it's towards a high. But, well, it's not really towards a high. Look what it's been doing here. It's mainly just been consolidating now for, this is the 5th day in a row of consolidation. And you'd want that to be a dragonfly like that to be, more at a top of a run, or down here. That's a gravestone. Sorry, you let down here or up towards here. That high, that peak. Sorry about my illustration there. DuPont. Okay, so DuPont, the 64 level. It hit it yesterday, and then pulling back off of today. There's no type of an entrance here. If I'm bullish and in this trade, let the 7 play out, but I don't like the fact that it came up to 64 and bounced back down off of it. A little bit of bearishness there for me, but it's still holding the 7. You got that going for you. As far as a bearish entrance right now, I don't see it either because it's still above the 7. It would probably give you this on Monday if you wanted for a better confirmation of a bearish signal. On Monday, if it pushes back below that 7 and down over 63 like that, then you got something. But right here, I don't see an entrance on either side there. GSS Golden Star Resources. Nice reversal. There's no type of an entrance right here. Big ugly candle yesterday, and it's only given up about half of the losses it's sustained yesterday, if that. Still below the 7, no type of an entrance. If I'm bearish on this and all of a sudden today I see that, let it play out. Well, it's a 50-cent stock. It's a little bit tougher to read these, but yeah, no entrance right here. It's still below the 7. It would still maintain its bearishness to me, still below the 7, but then push back up above the 7, then you got something and it might run higher for you. And I'm just looking at it technically. I don't really know that stock very well. Yeah, you're right, Rob. Yeah, they upped the price target on here by $5. They raised the price target to 85 from 80, yet they downgrade the stock. Sounds like they're trying to play both sides of the fence. Hey, well, we did downgrade it, but we did raise the price target. So, yeah, we're expecting it to go up, but this is a pretty strong move where this has come back. It did gap down, but it's come back. It's just down 5 cents. It turned positive there for just a second, but this comeback here off this level when the rest of the sector is really performing is a bullish sign. It's probably going to finish fairly flat today. All right, yeah, MasterCard. This not liking the action here. This is a bearish engulfing pattern there. Let me escape out of this. The volumes, they're steady. It's about where it's been now for probably 3 weeks or so. If I'm in this trade, closing below this is a tough call, but it's right there around the 7. It's bearish engulfing, fairly volume. Let me see if the bearish engulfings have been that accurate here in the past. Let me try to find one. Don't really see any bearish engulfing patterns. Now there is one right here. As far as that, that's about the best I could do on a bearish engulfing pattern, at least here since like August. There could be others out there. There's kind of one right there as well. Yeah, it's just bearish action. This would be one. It's down 1%. I mean, $11 sounds like a lot. It's 1%. I might take it off the table and then just look for another entrance. Just don't like that big bearish pattern, candle pattern there today. Yeah, it looked good yesterday and giving it up today. Visa, same thing. It's a pretty bearish move. It's down about a 0.5% bearish move. But some of the others, if you look at Discover, it's up a little bit, and then Capital One up slightly. So the big dogs, which outperformed these yesterday, is underperforming today. The Visas and Mastercards underperforming today. All right, and yeah, it did give it up more than the others on that Mastercard. Hang on just a sec. All right, just getting caught up on chats here. Darn it, back. Kansas City Southern. Try to go positive today. It's still bearish. I would still give it that level right there as some support. It's held it every time it's been through the level. And look at the volumes. You look at this big heavy sell day. Did it break that level? No. Another, well, basically all these heavy sell days right here on strong volume, there's a lot of buyers right there at 116. To get really bearish, it's got to break 116 and hold it at the end of the day. Strong volumes would help, and it's likely to get them. But right now, it's holding that level. If I was bearish here, I'd be a little bit concerned that that level's not breaking. Doesn't mean it can't early next week, but right now it's not breaking. It was the same level over here it held. That's a pretty big level for it. So if I'm bearish, if I'm in a bearish trade here, you could hang out till Monday to see if you get it. I don't know if I'd wait too much longer than Monday or Tuesday. If I'm looking for a bullish entrance, there's nothing here yet. It's got to prove to me it's going to start coming off that level before I'd get into anything like that. And yeah, making a bearish entrance, no, maybe early next week sometime. Now look at that Qualcomm. What a workhorse. And thank you, Paul. Um, yeah, what a workhorse. It's done that now off these bottoms. Look how it keeps rallying off the bottoms. And this is the biggest rally yet. Very strong move into the close today. Going to finish up there towards 74. Heck, how much long we got? Oh, just 5 minutes. Going to finish up there at 74 again. Strong signals. Run back through. Well, let me keep going here. I know I'm getting behind on chats, and we can come back. Okay, so FOE, trend rider bear signal from a couple days ago, just slowly working its way up. Nothing big. Can this stock move? Yeah, it can move. It just, not yet, but there's nothing bearish here. I wouldn't, if I'm in a trade here, don't get out. I might give it the 7-day moving average. That's a 50-cent move on a low dollar stock like this. That's a bit, but I wouldn't get out yet. If I'm looking to make a trade, nothing. I don't see it here. Just so tiny moves. I would again, the day-to-day price action is what we're trying to predict. We're trying to find the predictable moves like that. Well, either one of these two, it's close on that first day there, but where it jumps up into the band, now we got a trend right or bear. It's pushing up above the 7. Those are the predictable moves. The day-to-day, if you don't have the predictable ones, is tough to call, but there's nothing bearish about what's going on here. It is at that level of resistance. There has been some strong volumes moving up towards that level. Let's see if it can break. If it breaks up there, it's got 14 on it, and if the volume keeps coming in fairly strong, it might keep going. But if it gets up towards 14 and you're in the trade, I'd be an itchy trigger finger. Okay, Express Scripts. Still nice bullish action. Today is a nice day. Some big days up. Today it was down, and then look at that nice comeback. And this is that buying we've been talking about this afternoon on display here as well. Now, one thing I've noticed here, looking at some of the charts, the volumes are a little bit light today on all this action. So maybe some of the traders, I don't know, taking some time off, but another very strong move up into the upper Bollinger Band like that. If I'm in a trade here, you could trade it until it closes inside the band. Of course, you could, if you get a nice profit, want to get out anytime along the way, pat yourself on the back and look for another trade. Okay, with SPM, with Las Vegas Sands, when they got downgraded today, if I'm looking at this technically, all I see here is a retest of $80. Right, you take the downgrade out of it, it's retesting 80 and holding the level. The other stocks in the group are rallying today. This one isn't because it got a bit of a downgrade, and they upped the price target, yet they downgraded it. They downgraded it to a market perform from an outperform. I still like it. If the stop's on the 7, let that play out. If you get a move up here off the $80 level, hey, this thing's set to run higher. But that's what's put the brakes on this today from run to rally. It has come way off the lows. I think it was down like 70 cents at one point. Now it's down 7. I mean, I have to double check that. But nice move. I mean, the low here is 79.74 to 80.73. It's come, yeah, I mean, that's a nice move for a stock that got downgraded. And downgrades are typically, it's not a fundamental move, right? It's just a little bit of a news type move that we got to deal with in the marketplace, upgrades, downgrades. But overall, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd let this play out. If it closes below the 7, come Monday, Tuesday, then get out. But give this a chance. With General Motors, Steve, good question. Now, this is one of those tough calls because it's closing below the 7, right? Yet, it's at 40. And you could say, you can look at this two ways. Well, it's closing below the 7. Yeah, it's a little bit bearish, but it's holding 40. Hey, that's a positive. So as traders, you get to make these gutsy calls. And there's a chance on Monday it might break and run down. And there's a chance on Monday it might go up. We don't have, the day to day, we can't, there's nothing predictable here. But you could say, well, this is a start of a flag pattern. Or you could look at that as a descending wedge pattern, which could push it lower. All right, but overall, that's one of those gutsy calls. And I'll let you decide what you're going to do. But yeah, it's holding 40, yet it broke the 7. And, there's just nothing there technically that's telling me, like I was saying, when we look for entrances and stuff like that, we look and find as much evidence as we can with indicators and trends and the 7 and things like that. So it's going to be a gutsy call to hold. It might come back up because it's holding 40, or it might drop below. What you'd be doing, you'd be risking some more, a little bit additional funds if it does break below. But if it doesn't, then it could easily pop right back up through, and it could give a nice bull vibe signal. Caterpillar, the market's closed. Sorry, I didn't get to everybody before the. Now DE, we've been watching this one. Yeah, this had some pullback, but the price action here. I have looked at DE, Joy Global, and Caterpillar here this afternoon. So DE is below the 7. Look at Joy Global, just barely breaking the 7. Either one of those, they might keep running. But look, Caterpillar, much stronger chart. It's been up for 4 days in a row now. And the fact that it got up above the 7 yesterday on a very strong reversal candle, and today opened lower down towards the 7, now pushing back up over that and 90. The volumes remain steady here. It's pretty strong. It's right at this 50-day average of volume. That's a nice looking setup. It could run up here and break the high there at 91. And this is one of my runner-ups today. Let me give you a little bit more on DE. So I don't know if you're in calls here or what, but if you look at this level, it broke the 7 up in this range, never got above it, kept coming down. No surprise really after that giant rally that we saw out of them. And now the lows here, they keep getting bought up below 89. And so if I'm in calls here, I'd probably give it a chance on Monday. 89 would be my line in the sand. If it closed below 89, exit if you're in it, if you happen to be in calls. There's no entrance right here, but if you happen to be in calls here, if it closed below 89, that's my line in the sand. All right, I'm just reading through some of the chats here. I think I'm getting caught up. Maybe. With Nike. Okay, there's a couple things here I want to show you. First of all, you could say we got a double top pattern forming up right there. It's below the 7. It would have to drop below 76 for this level to be confirmed. I mean, this pattern to be confirmed. And from there, there's $4 between the high there at 80 and 76 there. So it could move. If it did break below 76, which it's going to take some doing, but if it did, it's suggesting it could move down towards the 72 level, $4, based on that price pattern right there. But watch it. It's a little bit of a bearish one, but as far as the right shoulder being lower than the left shoulder, it's a bearish double top. It's a bearish pattern, but that just puts a little bit more into it. But 76, it would have to hold that level. It's below the 7. There's no entrance right here on either side, calls or puts, unless you get a break below 76. Or for me, I mean, it's got to start breaking up over about the $79 level to get bullish on it. Okay, with Nike. And I like to trade Nike. I wish it would come back and give us a nice setup. KSU again. Yeah, it's got strong bottoming volumes right there at 116. But there's no type of an entrance here. If you do have puts on it, let it ride a little bit, see if it does break, but I wouldn't buy anything in here. I know the market's closed now, but Trade Rock. I think I called you Trader Doc a minute ago. And I'm not sure if that's you or not, but Trade Rock, I see it, but it's just so close to Trader Doc, who is in the room occasionally too. Yeah, very strong move here. Man, big volume, strong move, no entrance here. I couldn't argue taking a gain. It's pretty overextended right here. It's about $3 higher than the 7 right now. It doesn't mean it can't stop running, but it just says there could be some consolidation here early next week. But nice trade. Yeah, no trade right here. ADSK still looks strong. This was top 3 from Wednesday. Yeah, nice. It jumps up yesterday, and then today sells off. Still jumps up at the end of the day. Lighter volumes on most things we're looking at here, but still bullish. Man, you could put a stop, like at this point, you could put a stop on today's low and you're going to protect a gain right there. Is that fairly tight? The low is 50.64. The close is, yeah, it's not that tight. You could put a stop on today's low, raise the stop a little bit, close below there, get out. But right now, I'd remain in Autodesk. Yeah, Max. Whenever I think of LinkedIn, Max, I think of you on this day right here. It's going to be in my mind for a while. Um, yeah, that was a great call, a nice trade, and just bullish ever since. These big days up like that. The upper Bollinger Bands, they're contracting, so watch it up. There could be a little bit of resistance around 220, but watch these bands right here. The volumes, they've been decent. They've been fairly steady, and that's fine. It's not that far away from the 7. Well, for a, what is it, about $19 away from the 7 right now or so. For this, I always kind of just look at the distance from stock to stock. It gives me a general idea. It's not that overextended in here. It could keep running. It might be consolidated a little bit around 220, but a break at 220 is pushing it up there, probably the upper band. Nice, Max. And did I ever tell you I really like that name? My favorite uncle was Max. I named one of my kids. Middle name's Max. I like the name. Win, yeah, it just continues to run. A little bit of bullish consolidation from time to time, kind of sideways. Today, just sold off and then rallied. That's why I still like Las Vegas Sands, because you got Win and MGM still rallying. The only reason that Las Vegas Sands didn't today, you could say it did because it rallied up towards at the close to finish probably close to uh, flat today. When it was down like 70 plus cents at one time, but yeah, I still like. That's a nice looking group. Just not giving us a chance to get in. It just keeps running and running. Very nice price action. And yeah, they're right down by you, Vegas, right? They got a couple hotels down there. I've never been in that one, but DuPont. Yeah, I'd agree, PW. I'd wait a little bit and see if it does get up over that 64 level. It's still above the 7, but above 64, you got a little bit more as far as the technicals telling you a little bit more odds are on your side above that level. SPM, we've all been there. Yeah, yesterday was a nice setup. This was, well, I think it was you that probably showed me this one yesterday afternoon. Yeah, it came up on the scans. I really liked the setup yesterday, and it got some follow through today. Very, very little sell off with what happened in the market today. Looked like it gapped down just slightly and then just ran. And I haven't looked at it to see if it ran right towards the end of the day or what. I guess we could. RCL. And it's about that time here in Utah to take a cruise, as I guess most of the U.S. right now has been so cold. Yeah, yeah. Look at this. Pretty flat most of the day. Pretty flat most of the day. And then what did it do here the last half hour to an hour? There it went. So it rallied in the close. That's a pretty strong move for the position. So let's just run through our positions right here. Boeing jumped up a little bit right the last little while. Qualcomm just down 4 cents. Same thing, a nice little rally up into there. And then Morgan Stanley down 25 cents. It finished down right down the lower part of this channel. Okay, so we ran with the positions. We were holding them over the weekend, looking for more upside come Monday, and I'm feeling good about them. I think they're due for another bounce. All of them. Yeah, Akamai, that's a nice move. It's jumped up today, even when a lot of things sold off initially. This jumps up and ran up over 48 on some decent volumes. They're not as strong, but uh, again, most stocks today aren't all that strong. Okay, so with Goldman Sachs, the financials, you notice the financials came back today. A lot of them came back. They're well off the lows. This finished with 0.5% gain, about $1 here. Uh, not a not a move strong enough to want me to run out and trade it. But if you happen to be in calls, it's a positive. I'd take it. But for me to want it to trade this, it's got to jump up above about that level there. Early next week you get something like that. Then you got it's probably going to break 180 and keep going. But right now, yeah, the financials finished the day with some buying, and that's a plus. Oh, good to hear, Snag. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for your time. It's been a pleasure once again. We'll be back again Monday morning. Have a great weekend. And if anything comes over the weekend, feel free to email us and take care. All right. Bye bye.